for Blood. The open beta was this week. We had a chance to jump in and play it. Spicy and Jordan, you actually streamed it yesterday, and I hear there's friendly fire.
Oh, in normal mode. I don't really know what the modes are. There's basically...
There are two trains of thought.
There's basically easy mode, and then there's, I guess if you want to call it normal mode, and then hard mode. But normal mode is hard mode, so hard mode is like... It's basically like normal, heroic, legendary is more what it's like. But yes, so during the not tech test, but during the closed beta early in the week, I played on the default lowest mode.
Sure.
And it felt good. You're slaying zombies left and right. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you shoot your friends. It's fantastic. It's a really great game. For the open beta, we decided to play one difficulty up, and we were streaming with a friend of the show, Ronan, and he was like, "All right, guys, just
get ready.
Yeah, it's harder." And it was actually Mark's first experience with that difficulty.
It was my first time.
He doesn't even know what the easy difficulty is.
I don't do easy.
You're just jumping the deep end.
Yes.
Because you go in. There's different chapters of an act. There's different chapters of an act. So towards the beginning of the act in that higher difficulty, because of the friendly fire, it was a little bit hard. But once we started, Ronan got us into shape and taught us how the military trains people, and we started crouching and saying, okay, moving, move across each other.
There was a lot of friendly fire at the beginning. A lot. You feel so bad too because you're not trying to, and the aim assist is I don't know. Holy smokes! It like moves your controller. It's almost like Grand Theft Auto aim assist.
Yeah.
And when there are zombies running at you and Jordan's in front of you and you are looking here and you aim assist and it pulls it right where Jordan is and you're unloading, you're like, you unload clips on your friends.
I don't think there's ever there'd ever be a day where I'd complain about too much aim assist, I guess, if you think about it. But it is jarring how strong it is. You got to lower that thing down.
And all your teammates are covered in blood already, so I don't know who's who.
You actually can't really tell zombie from team.
I'll move forward the
So
screen.
let me ask you this. What is it? Is it just a replica zombie wave killer?
It's Left 4 Dead 3.
Okay.
It's 100% Left 4 Dead 3. That's the best way to explain it. It's done by Turtle Rock Studios, who made the original Left 4 Dead series. The reason they didn't call it Left 4 Dead is because Valve still owns the IP. It's Left 4 Dead 3 in everything but name.
Okay. And second question, well, I'll go to Spicy for this one.
Yeah.
Is it fun?
It's very fun. I really enjoyed it a lot. Now, keep in mind that back in the 360?
Yeah, 360.
Was Left 4 Dead? I came late to the show. I came like 8 months after it released. And I thought the game was fun, except that I could never play it because every time I would join an online match, instantly within 10 seconds, people voted me out.
Because he was new.
Because I was a level 1 or something. They could tell that I was new. But they didn't know that I was a level 48 out of 50 on Halo 3. They had no idea that was like the prime of my life when it came to gaming, right?
I think that stat should just follow your gamer tag around.
I know.
Like when you load into each game.
They just saw that this noob had no experience playing this game, so I would get voted out. So I actually wasn't able to play a lot of Left 4 Dead because I don't know what it was, but no one, at that point in the game cycle, no one wanted a level 1 person on their team. Even Ronan, when I told him that when we were streaming, he's like, I know, I would have done the same thing.
Business is business.
I know. We want somebody a little bit higher than a level 1.
When you're killing zombies, you can't have a level 1.
Yeah, I know. So, but I did play as much as I could Left 4 Dead. This is a modern version of what I played. This is a very fun game. It's extreme. I really like what makes it fun for me is the replayability with the cards. I think that changes a lot of dynamics to this game. How it works is you get good cards and you get bad cards. It initially shows the bad cards per round that you get. What do they call them? Corruption cards?
Well, corruption cards they're basically either a modifier or a group objective. They can be one or the other.
They're like the skull things on Halo. But you have no control over it. They make things harder. Like one of the ones we had to aim for the head. Basically, that's when things got really hard.
Yeah.
Or they put crows out on the map. That's the one we got several times.
Yeah, more crows. And what crows do is if you alert the crows, it alerts a horde, which sends a bunch of zombies at you.
It's terrifying.
So.
And then the other cards you can get as you keep playing and they stack on top of each other as you progress round per round is buffs that are like that. You apparently you can build your own deck. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
Jordan?
So the card system is kind of one of the core features of the game. So basically, when you first load in the game, you'll have a basic deck, right? And this deck I think it has 15 cards in it, just a starter deck. For the beta, you're able to unlock more. So what these cards are is 2% reload speed, plus 10% health. They also have other cards that are team cards, so as an example, plus 10% health to the whole team. So they have cards that can help the team, they can have cards that can help you individually. And what you do is you can build your deck, and you can build multiple decks. So with the healing cards, for example, you can build a whole deck and just dedicate it to be a medic. So you're like the medic deck.
Yeah.
And between rounds, because you go through an act, and each act has so many rounds, between rounds, it'll let you randomly, it'll give you a set of cards, or it'll pull from your deck a set of like 5 or 6 cards randomly, and you choose which one you want to add to your character, and then in turn it buffs your character. So that's the card deck system, and then as you complete the rounds, you'll earn what they call supply points. You can then take those supply points and buy more cards from the in-game lobby. And when I say buy, it's all in-game currency right now. We'll talk about microtransaction stuff later. But all in-game currency, you buy the cards and then unlock more cards. Yeah, that you earn by playing the game. In this specific session of
the game.
And then the corruption cards, like Mark was talking about, is just what we said. It's the game's cards, if you will, and it'll be modifiers to the game or objectives. So we got a modifier for headshots, and then there was one card where it said all 4 survivors must survive the round, and it gives us bonuses for completing those objectives if we do it.
Yeah, exactly. Which, when you add those card modifiers, the replayability is actually pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm.
It'll change. I'm sure it'll change the map every time we play it. It'll change. It's kind of like that. Why I like Battle Royale and why it's why I like poker. You never know what cards you're going to get. So each time it's exciting to see what you're going to get to change the OP-ness of your character.
Yeah, it's
OP.
Slow that down.
How
overpowered.
The overpowered.
Change the OP-ness.
Not the OP-ness.
Yeah,
the OP-ness.
That's a different game.
That's the wrong game. Sorry.
I don't remember an OP-ness.
This is not
Dead.
It's not XoneBros After Hours. Sorry. The how OP your character gets, and it makes it really fun, because you'll never know what you're gonna get. So. I think it's an excellent game. This is for testing, right? Because it's the open beta. So I had like some rubber bandish stuff, but overall it wasn't too bad. I think they probably need to dial down you could dial down the auto assist, aim assist, because when you guys play this, you'll know exactly what I mean. It's like Grand Theft Auto, like boom.
It's like
whoa,
Red Dead connections.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So now, if you go up to higher levels difficulties, I would imagine that goes down, right?
No. It's just an aim assist.
It's just part of the game. Okay. It actually, I say this all the time. I think aim assist is more damage than good, because like I was saying, I kept accidentally shooting Jordan because it would aim to someone behind him, and so I start shooting him instead.
Oh, I see.
And we talked about this pretty extensively. I really like that there's friendly fire in this game.
Yeah.
I think it makes it so much more interesting.
Well, towards the end of the Act 1 is what we were able to play in the beta. Towards the end of Act 1, we were playing completely different, which was actually more fun. I wouldn't say it was any more tactical that we were playing, but we were just playing with the awareness of our teammates in mind, which made how we entered areas better, how we kind of walked through the levels, the maps. We didn't kind of cross each other's path or anything like that. It was really...
Who was your fourth person?
A guy by the name of
Bloodborne, yeah.
He chatted a couple times in PC. Shout out to him. He was a lot of fun playing with him.
He was actually good.
He was a pretty good player.
He out killed everybody. But he had a mouse and keyboard, so it's no wonder.
Yeah. Shout out to Human Horn, who dropped a super chat right now. He says it's not the size of your deck. It's how you use it.
How you use it.
Amen, Human Horn. Thank you very much.
Another thing. I don't know if you're planning on ending this section of the show real quick. I really like that the guns have attachments.
great.
that you can add like silencers, you can add laser sights, you can add scopes as you find them on the map or as you buy them in between in the safe rooms.
Okay.
Just like Left 4 Dead. I mean, this is Left 4 Dead, just modernized.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, and
All the fun mechanics in games that you like, they put into Left 4 Dead, and that's what this is.
It
Yeah,
looks good.
no, it's really well done. We were only able to play Act 1, which was a decent amount of time. I mean, obviously, once you get good, know the levels, you can probably speed run them pretty quick. But it makes me excited.
Now, are they
to
going to
get into the full
have
game.
like seasons, battle pass, anything like that, or
So-
is this once it releases, that's it? What?
So they're gonna have post content that you'll probably have to buy. My only worry with this game is the card system. The card system, I think, is the fun of the game, but it's also my worry of the game. If they ever make those cards available for real money purchase, the game is over. It's done. The point of the game is to play through the game, earn the cards, unlock them via in-game experience. If I could just bypass all that, in my opinion, it's kind of like boosting a character in in an MMO. Like, I understand why it's there, but I don't think it's useful for the community and healthy for the community overall. If you can just come in 2 or 3 months after release and go, I'm just going to buy 100 card packs. Here's $20. Yeah, I don't. In my opinion, if they release that later down the road, I hope they don't. They haven't said anything about doing that. But if they release that down the road, I think that's what'll eventually.
Spicy was the
Kill
fat
it.
dude with the glasses.
Yeah,
I was talking about that during the stream.
Yeah, Ron Hoffman is.
We called him Ron Hoffman. I feel like that's the guy that works at Staples that fills out IPS reports.
And then he becomes a badass when it hits the
zombies
fan.
come, yeah.
Yeah.
That
He's
is
a funny
hilarious.
Well, that's actually something to mention. Each character has a plus that they can bring. Like, some people can do better team healing, this and that. It's not like incredibly over the top, but it is cool that you can kind of pick and choose characters. Some characters might synergize better with a team, so you can kind of. And there's 8 characters. We were only able to play as 4, and I'm sure they'll probably release more characters. So it was kind of cool to play those different characters and have different perks with those characters.
Yeah. So what Jordan's saying is each character has their own passive.
Yes.
For yourself, and then there's a passive for your team. So it depending on what character you get, like he said, they synergize with other characters. And like, for example, I think I personally was able to get one more tool slot, so I could hold like 3 pipe bombs instead of 2. And then also, I think I could add 10% ammo to the team.
Yeah.
Or
Well, see,
like
and
that.
it's not like stuff where it's this character's overpowered. We have to bring this character. It's perks that do help you out and do synergize with other characters, but it's not. I guess the word would be game changing, which I think is good because then you can play multiple.
It's not
characters.
penis.
Yeah. Then you can play multiple characters, but you can also you can synergize with different characters and really customize your team in addition to that card system too. So a character that brings it what was yours? He had extra supplies. You can bring in a lot of weapon modifying stuff or ammo modifying stuff with the cards that go specific with that character. So I think it's just the layers onto that card mechanic, which for me is fun.
Yeah, it's very fun. Look, really good. I see a lot of, like I said, replayable potential. A lot of fun with friends. I am concerned about friendly fire being in public lobbies. That's terrifying. But I think you'll probably get banned and I don't know how the
Ban system work. Yeah,
ban system's going to work and how you get replaced, because I don't know how enjoyable it will be for me to join a match that's almost done.
Yeah.
So if someone gets banned, you are hurt because you're down a player.
Yeah. Well, and I'm gonna be honest. This isn't a game for the shy. Like
What do you mean?
Well, this is a game
You
where
have to talk
this
and
is a game where
communicate.
you want to be on the mics, even if you're in a group of randoms. Early in the closed beta, again with Ronan, we played with the third guy who was talking with us. I mean, most people in the world are decent people. You do come across some interesting people every once in a while, but this is a game where I think it's a game where you need to be on the mics, whether that be 4 people in your own party or maybe 2 and you're in with another 2 people. But just like the original Left 4 Dead, it's not a game that you necessarily want to go in solo. Although possible solo. I mean, you can go in solo and talk to the other people, but I'm just saying it's a game where you're going to want to be on the comms with people.
Well, I mean, it's just the nature of the game.
Especially on those higher difficulties.
There are enemies that will run towards you and explode. There are enemies that are just their whole job is to just run up and melee you, and they're big and strong, and you want to call these people out. There are what did we call them? Snitches. Snitches.
Oh, yeah, we found that.
We found out you don't want to shoot the snitches, but because there's unique enemy types, just like in Left 4 Dead, that you want to call out where they are because they are a danger to the team, and they will end your game. They will end your game. So you want to call them out and work on things. Right?
Yeah, well, and we called them, the other guys, we called them spiders. They would shoot and get you stuck in place. Even that for your own benefit. You want to be able to be on the comms and say, hey, I'm stuck. Yes, it'll give a notification to your team, but if you're in the middle of a big fight, you might not notice all the notifications. So you want to give call outs.
It gives a notification. I didn't notice that once.
Yeah, see, because you're focused on other stuff, so you don't see the notification.
I did not even know that it gave a notification. That's funny.
But
Psychotic asks, is the witch back, though? I hated that enemy.
We didn't see it on this one. Granted, we were playing the normal heroic difficulty, whatever that one's called.
And we're only in Act 1, so I think they're probably holding back enemies.
Yeah.
Probably. There might be a witch equivalent. They always have different names now. But the witch, well, I don't know, because did the witch scream and cause hordes to come? Because that might be the guy that we met in the later levels. What did we? The snitch, you know?
Yeah.
Snitchy
Well,
snitch.
that one's so hard. That one terrifies our team because I think Ronan was the one. He didn't see it in the easy mode. It was just to our difficulty.
The higher difficulty. Yeah.
And he shot one, and then it's like alerting the horde, and so we just get rushed with just a million people, and ammo is important. Ammo is limited.
Yeah.
Ammo is probably
they're spicy.
Oh, for those of you that can I jump in real quick and explain this scene? For those of you that are not watching, we're watching the stream of us playing the game. The game actually filtered Mark's name. If you're watching live, you'll notice the 3 stars in the middle of his name. It filtered his name because it thought it was.
My name has a slur.
It thought it was a slur, so it put stars to filter his name. We were laughing about those.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, game developers I think use the same word
slur
blocking
engine
from COD 4.
Yep.
I haven't been able to make a Call of Duty clan ever because apparently I have letters in my name that are offensive.
That if you rearrange 9 times with your eyes closed and rub your stomach while
Mr.
patting your head.
And I could never have a clan.
Loyal Doyle asks, is this going to be on Game Pass?
Game Pass. This is a Game Pass game.
Pass day 1.
If you were not, if you were in the pre-show watching that wonderful musical that we watched, it does show this game. It does show one of
those games. So there you go, guys. Back for Blood.
Can I say one more thing that I actually love about this game? This game is all about, and I love this feature. It's about public gratification and public shame. And I actually really enjoy when games do that. So for
example, the O-penis and public gratification.
And
I don't know what this game
and public shame. Because what's great about this game is if I were to shoot a zombie that was running towards Mark, it would pop up for everybody to see. Jordan saved Mark's life.
Oh, I like
and
that.
And everybody goes,
that.
oh, hey, thanks, Jordan. That's great. Yeah. And then when someone, I'm going to use Ronan as an example here. When Ronan runs into a thing of birds, it pops up and says, Ronan made it so zombies will come and kill you. And you're like, and everybody like looks over at him like, what are you doing, man?
Ronan alerted the snitch.
And you're like, what? Hey, come on. Yeah, so it's
that is hilarious. There you go. Back for Blood. Check it out when it drops. Game Pass.
I think the snitch is going to be the worst part in this.
Yeah.
Because you just want to shoot enemies, and if you shoot that one, it alerts, so you can't shoot that person. But if they're running, oh man, that's
no, it's gonna be a good one. There's it's actually pretty interesting because I was watching a lot of videos today on Back 4 Blood, and it seemed to be split kind of 50-50. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. I'm not saying everybody has to like every game, but this game for Game Pass, I think it's going to be. I had a good time with it. I think it's going to be excellent. I'm excited to play more. October.
There you go, David. Back to you.
I tried out a new game this week.
You did?
And that game is Omno.
Also Game Pass?
Also on Game Pass. That's what made me check it out. I actually originally tried it, honestly. One, because it's on Game Pass. But honestly, what made me click in and try it out is the art style. And I was I was looking for a game to play with my kids. I needed a break. I needed a break from work. I needed a break from life. And so I said, kids, let's play a game together. And that was it. And I really am liking this game a lot. This game, and what's cool about this game, I could describe this game as pure joy.
Yeah.
It's not the best game. It's not the most challenging game. It's just pure joy. It is what gaming is supposed to be. It is
Just pure joy.
Just pure joy. It is created by one developer on a Kickstarter, and then obviously like the guy that did the music is someone else. But in the Unreal Engine, I believe he did this.
Cool.
I'm not 100% sure. I think that's correct. Anyways, regardless, it's just a lot of fun. It's puzzles. It's this weird story about not weird story. It's the story about light, and you're a light bringer, and you just go through each level, solving the puzzles, collecting the light, and then you can 100% that level and move on to the next level.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of fun. The mechanics are fun. The movement is really good. It honestly is a great break. I would describe this as a palate cleanser.
Just a chill palate cleanser.
Yeah, I really feel like if you're burnt out of gaming, and gaming burnout is a real thing. A lot of people. How many times do we get that question? We get that question. Hey, I'm burnt out of games. I don't have anything to play. I can't find anything to play. What do I do? This game is that palate cleanser, in my opinion.
Enough for you to call me and tell me, because I was actually at your house when you started the game, and I watched you play like the first 5 minutes, and then I left, and you called me like 4 hours later and said, "Hey, this game is actually really good."
Yeah, ready for this?
Did you play it the full 4 hours?
No, you called me later that night.
I called later that night. Yeah, I did every night this week. I did 1 or 2 levels with my kids while they watched, and it's interesting enough for them. I think it has a lot to do with the color palette for them.
Yeah.
But it's challenging enough to be fun, but not too challenging to where it's just the game that you sit back and enjoy. That's the only way I could describe it. Again, not the greatest game in the world, just fun. A great palate cleanser. I highly recommend you check it out. I've got 3 levels left till I beat the game.
Ooh.
I would say it's probably about a 10-hour game total. And that's 100%ing like all of the levels. I'm 100%ing them as I go through.
Yeah, so doing like all side stuff and everything.
But really cool. Again, it reminds me of, you could clearly tell that the guy that made this game was just doing it for the love of the game. Yeah. That is it.
Yeah.
And it really comes through. One-man team created this game on Game Pass, having a ton of success. I'm really happy for him. But yeah, Omno, I highly recommend it. Go check it out.
Well, and that's the bonus, is it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly. You totally could. Big shout out to Super Shocker, who did drop a super chat. He says, "Have you tried out Lawnmower Simulator? It's the Forza of lawnmower games."
Yeah, I think that was Super Shark, wasn't it?
Super Shark. Yeah, that's what I said. Did I not say
Did
that?
you say that?
You said Super Shocker.
Oh, my bad. Super Shark. Yes. Have you checked out Lawnmower Simulator? It's the Forza of the backyard.
Well, we do
He
know
says,
that
"I
they
love you
have-
guys. Oh, penis."
They they actually have Mark's lawnmower in the game.
They do.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
They do.
That green John Deere.
Huge thank you to Super Shark. Appreciate that.
It sounds like Super Shocker, but you're saying Super
Super
Shark.
Shark, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I?
I think you said Super Shocker.
My bad.
Yeah.
I apologize. I don't know why I say that.
That's okay. I forgive
Super
you.
Shark.
I forgive you.
Thank you. There's Super Shark and Super Shocker, and I
think he's mad at you.
I get
Yeah,
tongue-tied.
He's in chat. He's really bad. I can
Son
tell.
of a-
I'll smack him
I
later.
apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize, Super Shark.
Hey,
Yeah.
did you guys see that Battlefield 9-minute short?
It was a 9-minute short.
9-minute short
I'm
film.
gonna pull that up.
So I remember the one we watched last week was super awesome. It wasn't a short.
Well,
though.
yeah.
It's
it was
Super
the-
Shark.
It was just the gameplay.
Not super awesome.
No, so last week was the teaser to the short that we got this week, and this is where it's fun for you lore buffs out there. Really cool stuff. So this short, basically what it does is it sets up the story of Battlefield 2042, because Battlefield 2042 is only multiplayer, so it kind of sets up the story, the world that we're in, why we're fighting, what the no-pats are, and all that fun stuff. What's really cool is our friend Irish is back. He is from Battlefield 4. He is in the
very cool.
campaign, so this confirms that Battlefield 2042 is set in the same universe as Battlefield 4, which is great because Battlefield 4 is really fun. Also, Irish was a really cool character in the campaign. So if you didn't play the campaign, you probably don't care. But if you did play the campaign, Irish is back. He's really cool. He's also going to be a specialist in the game. So we're actually going to get to play as Irish, which is a lot of fun because I think he's a cool character. He's going to have some fun gadgets. So one of his gadgets is going to be a DCS deployable cover So what that means is he's basically imagine the shields from Rainbow Six, where you put them down and pull them up, and it's metal at the bottom, glass on the top, so you can shoot out. He's going to be able to post those around. Now they did say that he'll have multiple, so you'll be able to put them around the map, and they said that it can go on nearly any flat surface. So I'm excited to see. First thing everybody's wondering, well, can you put it on a tank?
Yeah.
You know, that's we're going.
Hey, that's what I asked
Or the opening of the helicopter.
Yeah, the opening of the
side.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna see, but they're really focusing on the sandbox here. Obviously, you do have to balance things to where they're not overpowered. So that's probably why they say nearly any flat surface. But the game developers, there's a lot of people that covered this on YouTube because there's a lot of the DICE did some private, interviews with different people, and one of the people I was watching was saying that the developers used the example of when your teammates goes down, you want to run over to heal them, so you run over, throw the shield down, heal them. You're both safe from oncoming fire, which is really cool. But that I wonder what else you can do with it, and I wonder what people can you put it on the front of an ATV and then get on the ATV and just drive around.
Remind me of the release date of Battlefield.
This is going to be October 22nd, I believe.
So here's the thing. So here's Battlefield. Halo has got to be the 15th of November, correct? That's the anniversary.
I think. I mean, that would be likely.
And then you've got Call of Duty. Something.
I think Halo.
Right?
Yeah, well, rumored to be World War II. So
yeah,
I wonder what they're going to call it, because the last one was called World War II.
The war to end
World
all
War
wars.
II 2.
The Great War.
World War II, the sequel.
Continued.
Continued.
It never ended.
Returns.
It's still here.
Yeah. No, I think what Halo's going to do, that was pretty much it, though. It's actually a very well done film. You can tell that we said this last week, they're in the full marketing mode now.
Oh, yeah. Well,
hopefully the game lives up to the hype.
My point is this. I think you've got more competition this year than ever before.
Yeah. But what I think, what I think the smartest thing for Halo to do is, so you got Back 4 Blood, which is early October.
Yeah, but that's not in the same.
No, I agree with you. But I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
So I'm throwing it in there.
Okay.
And then you got this on October 22nd.
Okay.
So we basically, what I'm saying is, guys,
2 weeks.
We
free.
have to beat Back 4 Blood within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No.
But then you have a couple weeks of this.
Yeah.
Then you have Call of Duty something.
And then you'll have Call of Duty, whatever it's gonna be in November. I think this is me. I think Halo waits. I think you release in early December or very late November, but I kind of lean towards early December. Let all these shooters come out, let everybody get their fill and play, and then boom, you're the king of Christmas. You know what I mean? You come around, everybody's playing you for Christmas, right?
Well, you still could be the king for Christmas because both Battlefield and Call of Duty are not on Game Pass.
Yeah, but I don't think you want to do and I'm not comparing. I think Halo is a much bigger title and has a much bigger audience than Titanfall did, but you don't want to do a Titanfall 2 where you put Titanfall 2 in between Battlefield and Call of Duty and look what happened. You know what I mean?
think it's November 15th for Halo, and I think Halo's bringing its A game from what we've seen so far, at least multiplayer wise. And let me ask you this: when let's say Halo, Call of Duty, and Battlefield are all out, where do you think you're spending your time?
Well,
based on what we know right now, because when it comes out, that could drastically change based on how all those games actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, ideally, I'll probably split a lot of my time between Halo and Battlefield.
I agree. I think it depends on the multiplayer of Halo, how it actually is. I think potentially it's going to be a 90-10 split. And then if it's not as good as I thought, it'll be a 50-50 or worse.
Yeah.
90 being Halo.
Yeah, based on what we're seeing, I agree. I think Halo's multiplayer, and based on what everyone who's had a chance to play it is saying, we're bringing this to a new generation of players. So it's really interesting. This year, this Christmas, there's just going to be excellent.
But you're definitely going to have
choices.
shooters to play.
Yeah, you're going to have shooters to play. That's for damn sure. And Psychonauts too.
Oh, yeah, don't even forget it. Isn't that next month?
No, it's this
Or
month.
is this month? Yeah.
It looks pretty. I'm looking at chat. They're answering the question too. It looks pretty evenly split. Well, I think people are leaning towards Infinite and Battlefield. There is some Warzones or Call of Duties in there though, but
yeah. I think then you come Christmas time, and I think what gives Halo a little bit of a head up in head-to-head. Yes, Battlefield's free to play. Call of Duty has its free to play version.
Battlefield's not free to play.
Sorry, not Battlefield. Halo. Halo's free to play. Call of Duty has its free to play version. and Battlefield
with
doesn't.
Warzone, right?
Yeah. And so that's where I really think Halo has an advantage coming into Christmas with Game Pass. If the campaign is good, as good as the multiplayer, and the multiplayer is really good, it's gonna be a great Christmas for Halo.
Yeah, well, especially if you take into the fact, so Warzone's been having a big issue with cheaters right now.
Yeah.
If they don't fit, I mean, yes, there's going to be people that play just the Call of Duty competitive multiplayer or regular multiplayer, but a big majority of people are playing Warzone. So if they're
right now they're playing Splitgate.
Yeah, Splitgate and Apex.
And
because-
Apex
yeah,
because of the new season.
because of
and the
but-
lack of cheaters.
Yeah,
I think the lack of cheaters is a big plus.
We do know if you're a PC player, we do know that Battlefield is using. Is it just called anti-cheat? I forget what it was called. They said what it was called, but they do have a pretty standard anti-cheat, which a lot of games are using.
Yeah.
Obviously not Warzone, but
What is the cheating issue on Warzone?
hackers. So aimbot, you can see everybody, all that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, and
I
you-
actually saw a video on that where I did see that. A guy is like, you're here, and he's looking there, and headshot
you go,
like every
yeah,
time.
it's
Yeah, it's
pretty
pretty
bad.
bad.
But so I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if Call of Duty fixes Warzone, because I think Warzone will get an influx of players when the new game comes out, because you got all the new stuff coming into Warzone. But if they keep those, if they don't fix the cheater situation, I think Battlefield and Halo will have the run of the holiday.
Well, you're having a lot of streamers bounce on out of Warzone, which
Big
is a
streamers,
bad.
very
Yeah.
big
streamers.
yeah.
Yeah,
Apex
Nick-
and
I think-
Splitgate are the two that they're on.
Nick Merckx left.
Yeah, he's on Apex.
Yeah, he moved to Apex. I know. Dr. Disrespect said
Yeah.
the best perk in Warzone right now is leave to desktop. Exit to desktop. He said that the other day. Made me laugh
Well,
really hard.
even YouTubers, even just regular,
funny.
even just yeah, that is a good one. Even just regular YouTubers. I like a guy by the name of Jack Frags.
Oh yeah, Jack Frags.
And he's
in Battlefield.
he's actually where I get a lot of my Battlefield information from, because he's on the he gets a lot of inside stuff. But I've noticed a couple of his previous videos have been older Battlefield games. I mean, I know he's getting hyped for it, but even he's made videos and talked about the cheater situation is just
out of control.
yeah, it is.
That's
A
unfortunate.
lot
That
of
is
people-
the best perk.
The
Is,
best perk in Warzone right now is exit to desktop.
Spicy, did you or Jordan? Did you guys either of you play Hades?
no, that just came on Game Pass this week.
Because
though.
that's on Game Pass. Yeah, and Andrew Courtney writes in and says, as someone who never played Hades last year, why will it be a game I can't stop playing till Psychonauts
Psycho
2.
2 Nuts.
Yeah,
The Return.
Psychonauts
Revenge
2.
of the Psychos.
Psychonauts 2 comes out. I've never played it, but it's
Here, I'll pull
it's
up some
got rave
gameplay.
reviews. Platformer.
Yeah, no, I've heard good things.
A lot of people really like it. Here's another reason to get Game Pass. Right here is Hades. It's on it.
Yeah, Game Pass is dominating.
Yeah, it'll
in,
get.
in my opinion.
Yeah, Spicy, you're looking forward to Hades.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
game right up your alley.
Let me find some good gameplay, and then we can. There we go. Yeah, it totally. This is the isometric
world.
The isometric world.
Platformer, really.
Yeah, looks really good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's.
So this is out right now. I
On
actually.
Game Pass, yeah.
Why did I miss this? Okay, I'll be playing this tonight probably.
It got rave reviews. It's considered a great game.
I think
But
it's
none of
been
us have played it.
out- I think it's been out on PC and PlayStation for a little while, so first time here on Xbox.
Yeah.
So Andrew Courtney, the answer is everybody else says that it's really good.
Yeah. And we want to play it.
And we
want to
wanna
play it
play
as a
it.
result. So there you go. But thanks for the question, Andrew. Appreciate it. Psychotic writes in and says, "Hey guys, I've been enjoying watching Jordan and Spicy play Back for Blood beta, and it got me thinking. Have you ever played a beta and felt like the hype at launch was ruined because you knew what was going to happen? Keep up the great work." He says.
In this scenario, I get what you're saying.
Scenario.
Thank you for that pronunciation.
I get what you're saying, but I think in this scenario,
Don't interrupt him.
I think this makes the hype even better for me. Yes, we're gonna have to play through Act 1 again, which we've already played through, but we still have. There's still. I mean, we've only really played 15% of the game. There's still
If
85.
that, yeah.
There's still 85% more to go. So I mean, if anything. I mean, I get that this was a beta and there's only a month left, but I feel like this is one of those betas that more leans towards demos.
Yeah.
Because what we're playing, I feel like, is pretty much the finished product. Yes, they're probably going to make balance tweaks here and there, just minor adjustments to really iron things out going into the main game. But in this
So
case,
is there-
it has hyped me more.
That's cool. Is there a game that the hype has been ruined because of a beta, though? Or not even ruined. The game is still good, but the hype is lessened because you know what to expect.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think developers do a pretty decent job of
Letting
making
you taste it, you know?
Yeah, making the game. They even remove things from the game for that specific model of the game that they have released for the demo or for the beta. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think they do a pretty good job. What I try to avoid, I don't like to watch a single player game. Multiplayer is fine, and I think like Back 4 Blood, same thing.
Yeah.
I think that one is because of the nature of that game with friends. I'm not necessarily involved in that game because of the story. You know, I'm involved because I want to kill zombies and make a cool gun and have fun with friends.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a single player game like a Wolfenstein or any other
Cyberpunk.
or a Cyberpunk, exactly, or a Grand Theft Auto campaign, I tend to avoid streams of that game and Let's Plays because I do not want to be spoiled because it's a story-based game and I want to get involved with the story. I like to watch maybe the first little bit to see if it's something that I want to play, but for the most part, I try to avoid the actual spoiling parts of the game. So that's kind of an interesting question because it's very easy to spoil yourself from story. And I've had that happen when I've, decided, okay, that game looks fun. I'm going to play this game now. And the part that I watched someone else play has ruined the beginning parts of the game for me to an extent.
And I almost feel like I might be the opposite of that question. So I'll play a beta and like Back 4 Blood, I gave feedback last night. I try to be helpful with constructive criticism, you know what I mean? So, I play a beta for a few, a certain amount of, like this time I got 2 nights of good gameplay in. I played in the closed beta on Monday night and then we played again last night. I feel like with open betas, I almost don't like. I'm probably not gonna play Left 4 Dead, or sorry,
You're probably
Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead 3, Back 4 Blood. I probably won't play it the rest of the weekend, and because in my mind I'm like, well, it's all gonna be erased. I'm just gonna have to start over anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I'm almost the opposite. But I do like to play it and get a feel for it, and maybe that's why I like the hype because I don't like just jam session it all weekend. I don't know.
Yeah, great question, Psychotic. Thank you very much for writing it. And did you guys see this story? You want to know what I'm very excited for? Because I never played these. I really only jumped into Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 5 was my first Grand Theft Auto that I jumped into.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was it.
Oh, you've missed.
I have missed everything. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy remake on its way. Are you ready for this? Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City.
Okay, good. That's
and
funny.
San Andreas for PC, consoles, and mobile. Coming as a remake. According to Kotaku, the remakes are being created in Unreal Engine and will use a mix of new and old graphics to replicate the feel of the original games without losing what made them feel unique.
So what you've just announced to me
is
we're not going to get Grand Theft Auto 6 anytime soon.
Well, no, this must be... I bet you are different teams on this. Because
was this released on April 1st?
Check the date.
No, that was released yesterday.
When you said Trilogy, I got scared because I don't think Grand Theft Auto gets good till number 3 because the first 2 are completely different.
Well, it wasn't
So
Rockstar.
Yeah.
it looks like it's
probably-
going to be released early or late next year, 2022, October or November.
Yeah, so we're definitely not getting 6 until like earliest would be late 2023.
No, this is the main developer of the remakes is the recently acquired Rockstar Dundee, previously known as Ruffian Games. They're in charge of
but why would they put a game late next year? It's to fill our
filler. So
filler.
probably Grand Theft Auto 6 either the year
following
after
year,
or the year after that. If you set it up correctly. However, I'll tell you what I'm excited for because you guys always talk about these iconic characters in Grand Theft Auto, and I do feel like the game is dated enough that I don't think I would enjoy it the same way you guys remembered it going back. So I'm really excited to experience a remake so that I can go back and experience. And maybe because I played 5, because does 5 have like Easter eggs from past games?
Yeah,
spread throughout it.
Packy comes in. Packy's from Liberty City.
Well, which 3 did you say again?
So Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're missing Liberty City, which is Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah, Roman.
Well, so if those 3 are
But
coming,
I think that's backward compatibility, so they probably I think
But they're remaking. They're redoing it from the ground up in the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well-
interesting that they're giving up their own engine.
If you have further remake.
Yeah, was it the Rockstar? What is it?
Rage, Rockstar Advanced Gaming Engine.
Gaming engine. That's interesting. They're doing it in another engine entirely.
Well, maybe Dundee
Yeah.
knows Unreal really well.
And maybe it's easier for remakes.
Ruffian Games is the Crackdown 2 developer, and so they're now the main developer of these remakes.
Cool. Well, what's exciting for me is me personally. I don't know where Mark lies on the spectrum, but Vice City is my favorite. I really like Vice City.
100%.
I really enjoyed the setting, which is essentially Miami. I liked the idea.
1980s Miami.
Yeah, I liked the main character. I liked Lance, your partner, and there was a twist at the end. It was a lot of good stuff. I really enjoyed. Was that the first Grand Theft Auto where they added buying properties?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean sounds lame today because you can do it in all of them. But buying properties, I remember I got the strip club it was making me money. It was making me money.
Ready?
Also, the first game my mom ever ripped out of my PlayStation 2 and took the disc away because she learned it was rated M.
I mean, understandable. Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
is a game that I would
Well,
probably take for my kids
what's
as well.
funny, I would too. What's funny is she yelled at me and she goes, "Do you know what Vice means?" And I said, "Well, it's the city that the game is in." I don't know what you're talking about.
Mom, it's just the city.
Yeah. So, there was that. But no, that's one of my favorite
Ready
ones.
for this? Listen to this at the end of this report. This is a report over at videogames247.com. Also comes from Kotaku. The report also suggests that Rockstar Games wants to remaster Red Dead Redemption 2. Whether or not that
2 or
happens
1?
Probably depends on how this series or remakes this.
How would
Sorry.
you-
What? Yeah. What?
No.
Hold
They
on.
also want to remaster. They want to remaster Red Dead Redemption as
Comma,
well.
2.
Yeah.
The sequel.
As well.
Wait
Not
a
2.
minute.
Let me.
That
it's
would be really fun.
TOO 2.
Can you
Also-
imagine Red Dead Redemption 1?
Well, but here's the thing.
In,
But I feel like if you
I mean, it
remaster
already
it,
is.
would just include it in, package it so that if I buy it, it's an add-on in 2 that I just open straight up and I can play right within that game. If that's what they do, I am totally down with that.
you know what?
Because that makes sense.
I think the best way to do it, which is probably what you mean. I think it was even in. Was it in San Andreas? I think you could go to like a Nintendo on the in your apartment and play old games. They should have the games inside the game, so at your house you could go play these in the game.
So they'll put it in Grand Theft Auto because there's
They'll
electricity.
put Grand
in it, I
Theft
guess.
Auto Vice City on like
GTA Online.
yeah
That's how you
on
purchase
like
it.
a console in your apartment that you buy.
That is hilarious. You could have Red Dead Redemption remake as a book that you pick up and read in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Well, that's really exciting. And if they do it, I hope they do the DLC of Undead Nightmare because still to this day, I think one of the best DLCs I've ever played. Undead Nightmare was fantastic.
So fun. Yeah.
But that's exciting for the other 3. I mean, would you say that's like 250 plus hours
Well, the reason it makes sense because
in those 3 games?
it makes sense because all of New Austin is open in Red Dead Redemption 2, minus Mexico. So why would you not put Mexico in there? It's still a part. If you can free roam anywhere, why not? It's still a part. You don't go to Armadillo in Red Dead Redemption 2 storyline.
Yeah,
Nor do you go to McFarland's Ranch.
I agree with you. They should do it as like when you load in, you go to the main
Yeah.
menu. You basically it's an option like
I have tried to swim across the river to Mexico. I can see it, but then I drown.
You drowned. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've tried
Yeah.
to. We've all.
No,
think
but
everybody have. Yeah.
But I was talking about the 3 remakes of GTA.
Yeah.
That's like 250 plus hours. I mean, that's a lot of time. And 250. I mean, they're probably redoing parts of it because I guarantee you, if you were to go back and play GTA 3 and probably even let's go all 3 of them. I mean, San Andreas is the newest of the 3. But they're probably dated in mechanics. The nice thing about it is Rockstar's controls are so weird anyway.
I don't know
They
if-
might feel right at home.
Maybe mechanics. I don't know if that's. I think they're definitely dated
Controls.
art style wise.
Controls, you think?
San Andreas.
Well, San Andreas
was-
is the newest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was the biggest undertaking I think to what Rockstar has done.
Yeah, you can get fat in that game.
They put in.
They put in
You
exercise.
could work out. You could work out. You could get skinny. You could get fat. You could ride pretty much any vehicle you
A
could
bicycle?
see. A bicycle that allowed planes. They didn't even have planes in Grand Theft Auto 4, which was a shock because San Andreas
Yeah.
had that. There, you can have the rocket backpack. There were a lot of. San Andreas just was massive in the undertaking of what was available for for gaming at the time, and they spearheaded a lot of ideas that games are. I mean, we take for granted in games today. San Andreas was a massive.
You're right. It
undertaking.
almost does feel like, because from San Andreas it went to GTA 4, which was next gen consoles at the time, 360, PlayStation 3. But it does feel like they pulled back because you couldn't fly jets. You couldn't. The only jet that you were in but you weren't flying was in the DLC Ballad of Gay Tony. At the end sequence, you did a jet sequence, but you weren't flying it. And then GTA 5 is probably more comparable to San Andreas.
Yeah.
Option wise,
You could go bowling, but you could go bowling in the other one too. You could at the gym, when you'd go to the gym or you go to an arcade, you can go to all this stuff.
Yeah.
San Andreas had playable games in every one of those locations.
Yeah.
It was
Not to
for
make-
its time was crazy how much you could do. in
yeah.
that
Not to make light of GTA 4, because GTA 4 was cool because like all the comedy clubs were like actual real sketches of comedians.
yeah, they had Ricky
So there was
Gervais.
it was probably more of a quality over quantity thing. But you're right though, because I forget about that. GTA 4, there was a lot of stuff you couldn't do that you were able to do.
Captain
in San
Obvious in
Andreas.
chat says, I liked the girlfriend option on GTA 4. And he also continues, they didn't allow planes because it was 9/11 came out.
Oh, that's interesting. Really?
It's probably close enough. It's within that same decade.
Really?
Here,
I guess.
I'll look it up. Release date, GTA 4.
Because that's 2001.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense because Liberty City is New York.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah, I guess that does. I would say as far as like my favorite characters, there were a lot of great characters in.
Yeah,
San Andreas.
I actually reject that premise now because of the amount of time afterwards.
2008?
Yeah, I don't.
7
think-
years?
No, that's soon enough, and especially if it's New York.
Well, I guess. Yeah, no, I guess you're right. I reject the rejection.
I reject
sorry.
myself.
I reject myself.
reject
No, you're probably
myself.
right. Yeah, you're probably right.
I think my favorite out of those three, I think my favorite characters are probably San Andreas. I mean, you had Samuel L. Jackson as the cop. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And you had a lot of your friends on Grove Street.
Yeah, because you were in
had
that
some-
gang, the Green
yeah,
Gang. What was
yeah.
their name?
I can't remember. It's been so long.
See, I agree. That was Samuel L. Jackson being the voice was funny, but I think the best characters in the entire franchise are probably number 4.
well, number 4, yeah,
Because Roman and Brucey alone can take the whole
Brucey.
game.
Brucey is the best. And Brucey did, I believe he's in Grand Theft Auto Online because you can order shark testosterone from their testicles to like inject it yourself because he's like the
He's a steroid weightlifter, and he's
And
the funniest
I
guy.
think you can get that in Grand Theft Auto Online if I remember.
But even side character like Packy was a good character in Grand
Packy
Theft Auto
was
4.
awesome.
Like I think Grand Theft Auto 4 had
Yeah,
Good-
which we don't have access to, so we have. But Rockstar just does a great job with characters, anyway.
They do a really good job with characters and worlds. I think their world to date is the best world for me. Granted, I didn't finish Witcher, but Witcher didn't. I think because it was modern, and I enjoyed GTA 5 more than Witcher of what I played so far.
San Andreas is the game that I fell in love with Hank Williams music.
Oh.
Like I knew Hank Williams music,
Yeah.
but there's nothing better than to just get in a truck and drive and run people over listening to Hank Williams all over. Like
Techie
so fun.
Techie87 says every day I become more and more like Trevor in GTA 5. I think that's how every old guy feels. As you get older as a guy, that's just how you feel.
Trevor is he's how you wanna he's what you wanna do, but you don't.
But you don't because of social
and-
restraints.
and laws.
and law, yeah, and being arrested.
And morals.
Morals, yeah. But he's kind of like, you know what? You know, he's not wrong in this situation.
That man has no filter on actions or anything.
Defenestrator writes in and says, following up on last week's question about the best intro in a game, he says, by the way, Spicy was right initially. It's Borderlands 1.
Hey, nice.
What, in your opinion, is the best outro/credits roll? He says, for me, it's Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. How can you possibly beat the Friends Forever song from Miami Connection? Simply a masterpiece. End credits.
Outro credits. You know what? The one that comes immediately to mind is Halo 2 finishing this fight, and then it goes into that main Halo theme right at the credits.
Halo theme.
Yeah, Halo 2, where they basically Master Chief slip spaces in a ship, and Commander Hood is like, "There's a new ship, blow it away," and then Master Chief's like, "Hey, this is Sierra 117," And they go, Master Chief, what are you doing on that ship? And he says, finishing this fight. And then it just blacks out and does
that was pretty
the
damn
Halo
good.
music. And you're like, oh, man.
Ba-ba-ba-bum.
Yeah, and you're just like, yeah, it was kind of cool. It was kind of, Doom's good just because of the guitar,
Yeah, heavy metal.
Yeah, you're just like, all right.
Except for the first Doom, I didn't play I didn't get to the boss fight in the second Doom. Was it better than the end boss fight on the first Doom? Was weak.
Yeah, well, I felt
like a
there was
disappointment.
I felt like there was maybe one or two really good boss fights in Doom,
Yeah.
like the remake, and then the rest were just kind of like, meh. But I felt like in Doom Eternal, each boss fight was really well
That's
done,
good.
and the final boss fight was really fun.
That's good.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Halo 2 for mine. Finishing this fight.
This is a really hard question.
I like Red Dead Redemption
because
you think the game is over. Can I talk about it? It's not spoilers. It's old enough.
Okay, if you ever want to play it, know that we're going to be talking about Red Dead Redemption.
Because Red Dead Redemption ends. You're John Marston. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm dead.
you're like,
What? It fades.
well, and the way you went out.
Yeah,
was
fades.
like,
You get
whoa.
murdered.
Red Dead Redemption 2?
One.
Oh,
One.
1. Oh, yeah.
Fades to black. You come back as the kid. Just one scene, walking over the bridge to
the
Mexico.
guy fishing.
The dude is fishing. The guy that killed your father, and you blow him away.
Yeah.
And that's the
It
game.
fades back in with you above your tombstone. It's like 6
And then
years
yeah,
later.
and then it fades back in. Yeah,
And
to
then it
you
and then
as
it
an
doesn't-
adult. You're John Marston's son as an adult now over his grave.
If I remember
on his property.
If I remember correctly, it doesn't really say anything, but it gives you a waypoint to go to.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
That is a cool ending.
Okay, we're going to be talking about game endings for the next little bit. Because I'm thinking of a lot of them. I'm thinking of Gears 3 when Marcus sits down and I believe he takes his hat off.
Yeah,
for the first-
him and Anna de-armor together.
Yeah, they de-armor. And it's just like they're sitting down with the sunset. Oh, man. After the entirety of that amazing
And then the
series
big
of
reveal,
campaigns.
you find out if Carmine is alive or not alive, which is great.
And then I can think of, any Rockstar game. You already mentioned Red Dead, but I'm going to talk about the Grand Theft Auto 5 ending. David, you haven't finished that, right?
No, I have not.
Can I talk about it?
I have to pee anyways.
Well, it's just real quick.
Well, I'm gonna play it. I want to.
Okay. I actually I can say this without spoiling anything. But go pee. Have you beat it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Is there multiple endings on that? I feel like that game would have multiple
I
endings.
don't know, maybe.
But everybody chooses the same ending, I feel, because you want you do. All right, I'm just going to talk about it. He's gone. You want Trevor to be alive. I want because I think you have the option of killing him, don't you?
I
think you do.
Yeah.
Anyways, I actually really like that they put that guy in the trunk of the car, and then you just push him off, and they're just hanging out. Anyways, I really like that ending. There's a lot of good endings in
Yeah,
games.
there really
though.
is. So what do we got? Halo 2, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
Yeah, the Gears.
Yeah,
Chad is
Gears-
saying
Gears
Gears
3.
ended with Gears 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many great endings in games that I would say that any game that was an amazing campaign where
Okay.
you were invested,
I think I have the winner.
except Mass Effect.
I think I have the winner, and it's not even an Xbox game. The first Last of Us.
Yes.
That
okay.
ending was insane.
I remember sitting and staring at the wall for 3 days after.
And
that.
100% credit where credit is due. Naughty Dog knocked that game out of the park. That game is near perfection. Probably, in my opinion, I think Witcher 3 is the greatest game ever made. My second choice, I love the Halo series, so it's in there too. But Last of Us 1 is on that list.
The ending sequence when he's driving home.
Yeah. Let me explain to you guys. The ending sequence of The Last of Us 1 is probably why a lot of people, myself included, I kind of see where they were going or where they wanted to go with the story in Last of Us 2, but it is upsetting. But the ending sequence of Last of Us is, I think, primarily the reason, the whole game really, but primarily the reason people were mad at certain parts of Last of Us 2 and what happened with the story in Last of Us 2. The Last of Us, if you have a chance to ever play that game all the way through, the ending just...
I don't even want to spoil it, even though it's an old game now.
Well, it's even hard to explain because of the build-up to the ending.
That's the thing. They start from the very beginning of that game with Joel's own daughter
Yeah.
And
That game punches you in the balls right in the first 5 minutes.
with Joel's own daughter, you understand, you get Joel. That whole game is you understanding the mindset of Joel and why he has the relationship he does with other characters.
Yeah.
That whole thing. And then you go to the ending of that game and you get why he chose what he chose.
It was
Because
phenomenal.
it's in any other context, Joel would be the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you get it and you side with him.
Yeah.
The whole buildup of that whole game, and then that's how it ends. And then the drive home, and then the lies he tells.
I feel like I should be plugging my ears for this one too.
We're
do
being-
you know-
we're being pretty vague.
we've decided
Oh,
the
okay.
best ending to
Okay.
a game is the first Last of Us.
Okay.
Not even an Xbox game, but
It's because just of how the perfection in that storytelling, the character development of the characters you have, and
Yeah.
it's all about Joel, man. You get him.
I
And you
think
understand him.
the story-
and you side with him.
the story writer, I don't know for sure the story writer. I think it was the same lady that did the Uncharted series before she left Naughty Dog. I may be wrong, but that story was incredibly well written. And I mean, just the character development, the gameplay, that game is top tier. And like I said, the ending of that game and what they did in Last of Us 2, I think is why a lot of people gave Last of Us 2 the criticism that it got. And I think some of that criticism was valid.
Well, I know that after that, I always talk about this. After I beat that game, for 3 days, I was like staring at the wall. I'm just staring at the shower wall in the shower, and it's because
It
I
affected
could,
you.
because I could see myself being the bad guy. Essentially, I totally side with Joel on his decision.
Then that's a game I need to play.
That is an excellent game.
It is so good.
It is so good. When they announced the sequel, I thought to myself, awesome, but I'm worried. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those
It
stories
wasn't
where
a
like,
finish the fight ending.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's one of those stories where it's. Have you ever had that like
Finish
with,
the fight where you're like, boom, let's go.
Oh yeah. Well, have you ever had like, especially with movies, where you're like, that movie was excellent.
I'll give you an
And then
example.
like when they make a sequel, you're like, ugh, you know, because
Yeah.
it's because the
Jack
first one
Re-
was so perfect.
Jack Reacher. First one.
Yeah, there you go.
awesome.
Yeah.
Second one,
Sucks the wang.
he wasn't even the main character. What the freak? It was the freaking girl.
And there
Have
was
you
other
read the
problems
books?
with that game too. Or
No,
that
everyone
movie.
tells me that I would enjoy the books.
The books are better than the movie because they make Jack Reacher like the alpha apex of all males. Like he's
Master
even thinks
Chief.
that he, like the dialogue you get from reading
His,
in his
like,
head.
inner dialogue,
he's like,
yeah.
there are about 6 people on this planet that can take me. This guy's not one of them.
I like that.
He gets shot with a 45 in one of his books, and he flexed, and it blocked. He still went to the hospital, but because he was so ripped, it like stopped the shot.
His muscle fibers.
Yes,
His muscle
Yes,
was
it
Kevlar.
spent
His
like
bullets.
the book I'm talking about. The first like chapter of the book.
Wait, and these books aren't called Jack Reacher, are they? They're called something
No,
else.
they are.
Or are
Yeah,
they
yeah.
Jack Reacher?
The first like chapter of the book is him. It like builds up to that moment because Jack Reacher. It's just like in the movie. He's a roamer. He goes wherever he wants. The first chapter, he's just digging swimming pools in Florida because he wants to. So he just spent like a full year digging swimming pools, and so he's just ripped.
That
and then
is
he gets
funny.
shot in the chest and his pecs. And then they get Tom Cruise, he's like what 5'9"? I don't know.
But the movie was good because I didn't read the books, so like I had no reference. But the first movie, because they did stuff different. It's like when he hangs up the phone and he's like, oh wow, he's not
that's
negotiating.
how.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
that's-
Because
that was-
he's
that
the
was-
apex
but
predator,
then number
man.
2, it's about the stupid girl, not him, and it's like, why am I watching Jack Reacher? You should have just called this Cindy. Like,
Yeah.
and have like
One,
Jack Reacher make a cameo.
It doesn't
'cause
seem like
basically
the
what
fight.
happened-
The fighting wasn't as good.
it wasn't
just,
as good.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
The
as
first
good.
one was
the story
really good.
wasn't as good, but no, yeah, stories with the best endings. Last of Us has got to be one of them.
Speaking of stories,
BioShock was actually a pretty decent ending
Yeah.
as well.
yeah, great question, Defenestrator. Really good questions. Speaking of that, guys, I'm writing a book.
It's called David Reacher.
No, that's not
David
it.
Reacher. It's about
Actually-
a badass who gets highlights in his
Actually,
hair.
I really want to make my main character now like that, like
Yeah.
just the alpha male of alpha males.
he really is.
I had a split second. This bullet was coming at me. The only thing I could think of was to flex
Well,
as
so
hard as I could.
when he gets shot, he's flexing and he like saves the day, you know. and then he finally like the battle shock takes him over, and he relaxes, and that's when all of a sudden all the blood starts going out because he finally relaxed his muscles.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
He didn't realize he was injured until he relaxed. Then he realized he was shot in the chest.
Yeah, Jack Reacher is like
AOG,
it's so funny.
AOG War Dog did drop a super chat, and he said, "Not sure if you guys have played it, as it's not on Xbox, but one of the best story-driven games I have played is Detroit Become Human.
Oh yeah, that's the
Such an
PlayStation.
amazing game. Yeah, that's like is it Rain? What is it? Hard Rain?
Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain? That's that game.
Yeah, similar to
and
that. It's
those
about
story
robots.
games.
Yeah, it's kind of like an iRobot.
Hey,
type
you know
story.
what game was really good that we thought they were going to come out with because of Quantum Break? What's the
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake. That was a really good.
Yeah.
That was a really good game as well, with like a good story.
And that ending, I'll never forget. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. So if you haven't played that game, then don't.
I don't even think you can buy that game anymore.
But that game,
because of the licensing.
I remember like the ending was like it was good, and it was also funny at the same time because Alan Wake's a writer.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, he's like writing his last chapter, and he's like, and it ended up being a lake. Wait a minute, it was an ocean. And then the whole screen goes black, and you're like, oh. Like it was almost like a forced cliffhanger, but overall the game was really well done and the ending was pretty good.
That's a good game. But yeah, AOG. I've not played Detroit Become Human, but I do hear good things.
Yeah, what is Remedy? They made Control, which I've heard is really good.
Control.
They're helping out on the single player experience of Crossfire, which one of these days I'm sure we'll hear about and get.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Crossfire? Wasn't
Yeah.
that old game?
The Chinese game.
Yeah, remember
Oh,
it was
Crossfire.
It was Crossfire X.
I thought it
is
was
what it's called.
Crossfire. Remember that 90s like
Yeah. You shot those things.
Crossfire.
Yeah, Duro, aka Ryan, says Alan Wake is canon in Control, so he will come back like that.
Interesting. No, Alan Wake was, and the way they did the game, it was like the game wasn't in episodes, but each level was formatted as like an episode.
Yeah, it was very cool.
And it was really good thinking. I forget about that game.
Yeah.
That's kind of a hidden greatest hits of the 360.
Yeah. And that does us for this week, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's end it there.
All right.
See ya.
No. Hey, thank you very much, guys, for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't, come over to YouTube, youtube.com/XoneBros. What are you laughing at?
No, I was just like, we just got bored. Let's end the show.
Also,
I got nothing else to say.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to us over on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to us. It really helps. It has been a blast hanging out with you. It's a blast doing this show. Come join us. Oh, I really want to jump in MLB The Show this week.
Oh,
The Field of Dreams game.
Madden.
man. Madden's coming out. I'm hearing like...
mixed message.
I'm
Is
not
this the
hearing-
off year?
I'm not hearing good things about Madden.
Uh-oh.
I skipped last year, so we'll see. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see ya.
I'm looking